as well, so I can add on to that. All righty.
Yep.
And, Mike's here. And Stacie, there's things that we really don't think about as people who are trying to buy a home, maybe selling a home, going into our next chapter and next step, that become a part of us over time, and you really don't think about those things until you're there in it. I talked about Akron a little bit, but what's going on around you at Pike Lake? Because you guys, I think 10 years around that time, have lived in the lake, and things have changed a lot, and your interests have changed a lot for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. So things are always changing. That's one thing that we know. Like I had mentioned before, when we moved to Warsaw, we kind of thought, it would be wonderful to maybe one day live on a lake. We just needed a house. We were lucky enough to find a house on Pike Lake Channel that had about 20 feet of frontage. And so that kind of it catapulted us, if you will, into like the lake life in Kosciuszko County. And at the time, we were very focused on our jobs and just kind of trying to be acclimated to the town and getting to know some of the neighbors. Pike Lake in that area is a little bit more mature, and it has been for a lot of years. A lot of the homes aren't your traditional lake homes, if you will. Most of the people that live around the lake are year-round residents. A lot of them are seniors. And so, like I said, with everything, things have started to change. I wouldn't necessarily say for better or worse, they just have. And so I've noticed that a lot, especially with our change in life, having, a young child. We're very engaged with the community and like to be out and about and doing things. And so we've noticed that there's a lot more activity around Pike Lake. Last year, for the first time since we've lived there was a flotilla, a boat parade around the 4th of July, and there were like over 10 boats. So how exciting is that? Because traditionally, it was just kind of a lake that not a lot of people were on. And what's great now is the people that do live on it, they're able to kind of enjoy some of those things that I think some of the other lakes around our area, are so popular for. So that's something that I never really thought about. Like I said, we just needed a house in 2016, 2017 when we were moving here. And then now fast forward 10 years, we are like very excited. My daughter's, picking out decorations for the boat and, just being able to have that time with the neighbors and community and just, enjoy the 4th of July.
I feel like when you're buying a home or you're moving somewhere, sometimes you kind of get in that survival mode because you're like, I just need that house, I need that place to stay. Is this offer going to get accepted? Whatever that process might be. But I think it's important too, and that's where you can really come in and help because you're local, you know the area. You can ask people kind of in that interview question when they do reach out to you, hey, what's important to you? Sure. Do you know what's important to you? Are you going to have children? Or do you have children? Because I don't have a stat in front of me, but I'm sure there is something to the happiness of a family or the happiness of where you live based on the community around you. You might be able to look the other way at a bumpy sidewalk when you've got great neighbors surrounding you, community that you're just chomping at the bit to be a part of and be involved with every day. And on the other side of that, you like to maybe see those improvements, and then you have friends around you and say, hey, we need to figure out, what's going on with the sidewalk situation and get that figured out, because I think you've got a story about that too.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, we live on Pike Lake, and so we've been very affected by the road being closed off of Anchorage. And so, of course, most of the people in my world know that, and they're asking, when is that road being opened back up? Like, what's going on there? And I'm very excited to say that 15 is open, and Sunset is open, but more importantly, the improvements that are being made. So Anchorage is a very busy road. The road has been widened. It's been a process. Last year they replaced the electric poles, widened the road. They're going to put a turn lane in, and they have sidewalks and curbs. And I don't know if it's just getting older or what, but just coming down the road, I'm like, look at those sidewalks. It's just exciting. I mean, it allows people to just have more access. And so in my mind, I'm thinking how nice that I'm going to be able to take my daughter on the sidewalk on Anchorage, and we're not going to be fearful for our lives because it's a really busy road. We'll have that space, and we're able to be connected to the rest of the community. And that just, the things that you don't think about when you first buy a house. And so I often will say to my buyers when we're figuring out where it is that they want to be and what their needs are sidewalks important to you? It may be silly, but for some people, they're very important. And if you are, having a family, if that's something that's very important to you, just being able to get out, whether it's in a subdivision, wherever that is, those things matter. And at the time when we bought our house, we didn't have kids. We were like, oh my goodness, we have this lake view. This is fantastic. We're close to everywhere. And if someone would have said at the time, like, oh, in 10 years, you're going to have sidewalks, you're going to have more access, we'd be like, sign me up. How cool is that? So sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. But it is really good to keep those things in mind. And again, having someone that's local, because a lot of times they have an idea of what the future does hold for the area.
Well, and you talk to people too. You know people within local governments, areas too. So you kind of have an inside edge. I'm not saying you know anything different than what the public person might be able to acquire, but just hearing things, meetings, networking events, you're probably going to know the outlook a little bit more clear than someone else might know, because you've talked with people and say, okay, I don't know this for sure, but I know these are maybe some plans in the works in kind of certain areas around town. Hey, your home, there might be a new factory that way. I'm just throwing examples out there, right?
Yeah.
Just, are you okay with that? That road might get expanded. Are you going to be okay with that? I think that's so important, because when I'm buying a house, or when we did buy a house, we were not thinking of those things, right? We're not thinking of the noise. Is there noise here? Is there noise behind us? What is it? We're just like, this house looks great. We love it. We need a place to stay. Great. But to your point about the sidewalks, we walk every single night. Maybe not right now because it's 100 plus degrees. But every single night, and we purposely take a route because the sidewalks in town where we want to go, pushing our 1-year-old stroller, it's bumpy, it's overgrown. We can't get a stroller through there, so we have to go a certain way. And those are things that we didn't even think about because we didn't have a kid, 2 years ago, just like you had said. So there's a lot to just think about it and look in that extra perspective that you do bring. And I feel like you talk about it, like subconsciously, you mention things all the time every time we come on here, events happening in the community, what you're doing, but you're a big driver of those events, and that's because those events mean a lot to you because of where you live and what you do, and it's your community. So.
Yes. Yeah, I think for myself, I absolutely love being involved in the community. I didn't realize how much I love that until really being in real estate and having that opportunity, having a child, seeing all of the wonderful resources that we have, and then also seeing a lot of the local businesses that sponsor those types of things. And then you start to realize that it's a lot of the same businesses, and how lucky we are to be in a community where we have so many wonderful local businesses. So that is definitely important to me. Being involved in the chamber is another huge aspect. Just kind of being a little bit more aware of what's coming to the city and what the plans are. And so also kind of as an ambassador, you're kind of like that conduit, if you will, like to the public. And so obviously, we want to be proactive and, help businesses and just kind of help connect the community. So I find that, being able to go to the chamber meetings and just being involved as an ambassador gives me a lot of knowledge about things. And you're just able to look at things a little bit differently, I guess, kind of a bird's eye view, kind of like we're all as one, as opposed to, me as a parent or a business owner, in this community.
Really, you are an asset to help kind of people get to the situation where they want to be a part of a group that's important to them or will be important to them one day, whether that's because of maybe a kid or other factors. There's just so much going on when it comes to thinking about those things. My head is spinning right now because I'm like, all the little things that we enjoy today, me and my wife, around our home, we hadn't even thought about when we were looking to buy it. So it's important to be a part of your community. It's important to be ingrained about causes that are important to you. And when you can kind of duo that into where you live or why you want to be a part of that because of where you live, it's really important. So the flotilla's going on. What else has happened? We're talking 4th of July.
Yeah, so there is a 5.5K that's around Loon Lake that I absolutely love to do. This will be either my 3rd or 4th year in a row. And so I had found out about it from the Watershed Foundation, and we had done a boat tour on Loon Lake a handful of years ago. It's such a cool lake. Of course, all the proceeds go to the lake to help, with whatever the needs are. It's just really pretty. So you get to, it'll be very hot for sure, but you get to check out Loon Lake almost the entire time. And it's just, it's a really nice run. You get to do it with a friend early in the morning. It's just a great way to start the day.
And I'll say it for you because you may not see it, you may see it, but the events that you're doing in the community, those things like that, like communicating with people over there, you're automatically, so automatically you're qualifying yourself to help somebody that wants to move in that area without
Yeah.
maybe even really knowing it because you just like to run.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
You're meeting people over there. And if you've been listening to the show for the full year, you do know you had the run in Wabash, I think, where it was like raining sideways.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that was an experience. Now you're going to run hopefully earlier in the morning
Yes.
when it's not 100 degrees, but it'll still be very, very warm.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, she's persistent. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right?
Outside of that, I don't know what else. I told her, I said, you got to find an event in the wintertime or the fall where you can run and it's wind's blowing in your face and it's like negative 20 degrees. But really,
There is one. I will do it.
Yeah, really get the best of both worlds there. But yeah, Stacie, it's been great talking with you this morning. We're kind of in that holiday mode already. And it's a great day to celebrate. It's one of the best days of the year in the summertime to celebrate, just to get to be with people and around people and celebrate the country. But yeah, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you the following week.
Wonderful. Don't forget to water your plants. I watered our flowers this morning in front of the office. They were looking pretty wilty. And I also put some more chalk out. So if anyone's downtown and wants to do some chalking, we love seeing chalk all over down off of Buffalo. So
I've seen a lot of great creations on your
Yes.
Facebook page. And before we do go, where can people contact you if they have questions about the community, questions about a home, buying, selling, or estate management overall?
yes, you could call me or text me at my cell phone, 574-334-7105. Or you can email me at Lake City Stacie. That's Lake City Stacie, STACIE, @kw.com.
Fantastic. That's Stacie Schlichtenmyer. I'm Balin Height. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Please be safe. Please drink plenty of water. It's going to be a warm one. And we'll talk to you next weekend, everyone.